This is going to be our new bar for the winery. This is the main bar here. They're all going to be biscuited, glued together. These three are for our cash bar, and these two down here, these are going to be mounted on a barrel and be able to be moved around the room wherever we want it. These are all upside down. I've got all these cut to length and everything ready to go in once I'm done. I'm going to put 6 to 8 coats of this Varathane on the bottoms, the insides. I'm going to coat this where it goes up against the post on this side, and on the other end the same way. And once I'm done with the biscuit cutting and the gluing, and we pull these together, we're going to put 2x4s on these like this and like this. I'm going to drive a lag, probably 2 in each board, up into this, up into the boards here, and pull them down level. And this will hold the bar together as well as pull it down straight and level. I'm going to seal the bottoms, the inside edges here, and we're going to epoxy pour the top. So what in essence will happen here is these boards will be encased. They will not be able to draw moisture, they will not be able to expel moisture, and they should stabilize. All these should stabilize real well and never have a problem again. All right, I've got these all brushed off now. I've got all the loose debris off them. You can see if you look really close, this wood is just sucking that in. And my job is going to be to put as many coats on as I need to get that to stop happening. So that when the wood has sucked all of it in, it's going to suck in, then the last coats will just be to preserve the wood and to keep the moisture out and to keep the moisture from getting out. So anyway, first coat is on. Trust me, there'll be a bunch more. Now I've got all these done and I've got all the coats on them I need to get on them. I've got to do some light sanding, but other than that they are ready to put together. Online we bought this and I found out that it didn't have a motor on it, that it was just the accessory tool. After scouring the internet, I found this tool again, and in looking at the comments and questions, I found that I could use my angle grinder to power this biscuit cutter. So that worked out stellar. I'm in the process of adjusting this, and I'm using some scrap wood to help me in that process. Put a pencil mark here, here, and here. This is where I want my biscuits to go. Our biscuits all look like they're the right height. I have it set for depth. They look like they fit just right. Biscuits are holding it in place. It all looks great. And I still can move that just a little bit back to my marks. Top is flat and nice, so that's going to work. Alright, I've laid out all my marks where I want my biscuits. Take this one, and turn it around. that has to be turned back around like that. This one. I'm using number 20 biscuits. Now I'm working on the other tabletop. I'm going to biscuit these out too, and then get everything ready, and I'll glue them and clamp them. Alright, now we'll make sure these fit correctly. And that looks awesome. Alright, I've got these all ready to glue. This is the glue I'm using here. It says one side only. So we are going to glue this side and this side, and these lay down and go together. Now the only thing I'm going to do to this side is I'm going to put a little glue in those biscuits. Alright, now I got this clamped, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cleat this bar down, slightly loosen these clamps and let it lay like that. I'm going to use washers on all these so that I don't drive them down into the wood. Now that looks nice and flat. It looks nice on the bottom. It looks nice on the top. I think this one's done. Now the only thing that I have to make sure of is that I have 22.5 inches in between here, so my barrel will fit down in. And I have 23. That's just how we're going to leave it. That way when we pour the top, the epoxy will run down onto this twine and stop. Alright, now I've put the rope in this tabletop. This is going to be our cash bar top. And I've run these down through each way. And I've glued them in. And I've got weight on them. I'm going to let the glue dry on this piece. I'm going to let the glue dry on that, and then we'll see where we're at in the morning. This baby's next. All right, this is dry. Now it's time to put the 2x4 braces on the bottom. This cash bar is almost done. You can see how the twine looks. This is glued on now, and I think it looks really nice. It covers up all the cracks, so when we pour the epoxy will not run down through. I'm just finishing up hand sanding all these. These I routered. These down here I didn't router, but I used my rasp and sandpaper on them. And as soon as I'm done sanding, I'm going to put a coat of urethane on these, the polyurethane, and protect these. Everything's good. So now it's time to finish this second coat on this. Again, I'm doing this to stabilize the wood. Alright, now what I've done here is I've cut these from the bottom because I could use my marks, as you can see here. But I'm going to clamp them from the top. Now the reason why I'm doing that, I'm going to clamp them from the top down, is if any of my glue runs, I want it to run to the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this clamp and I'm going to flip it back over to the bottom. I'm going to add my braces. Plus I'm going to add one more clamp right here. Now we're going to add our brackets here. I'm going to put all these on, and then I'm going to attach this board tomorrow. Now when I put this one on, I'm going to put it on like this and leave the rest for the other board that's going to come and join us tomorrow. If you've been wondering why this is cut at an angle like this, it's because our saloon door is going to open here and the bar would be in the way, so it has to be a little bit shorter. Cleats in the morning and draw it down, put our little groove in here, put our twine in. Glue's dry, pop the clamps off. Right now, I'm grooving this to accept the twine. I've got it almost done. I just have to do a little bit more, and I think it'll lay right in there. And what I'm using is like a rasp. It's like a, I don't know, something was around my shop. It seems to be working really well. And I've been laying it in the groove between the boards. That's ready for twine. Alright, I've been sanding on this a while. I just put a new pad on my sander and I'm going to give it one more go. And you can see as I time lapse this, you'll see the difference in the wood. and done. But you'll notice, even though these boards were planed, there's still millings on this left from the saw. And I don't want to take that all off. We want it to look like this because of the barn theme. Now also, I didn't do too much here because this is heartwood. And I want to leave that as much as I can the way it is. So when we pour this top, it'll bring out all that nice grain in there. So anyway, this is done. We're gonna glue the twine in now. So we're gonna dab glue in there, and then we're gonna put the twine in the grooves, and then we're gonna set 2x4s on top of them to hold it down until it dries. What I did here at the end here is I pulled that down and locked it, so I can cut it off on the bottom when the time comes.